So today I wanted to talk about why it's so important to feel proud of yourself. So I started this podcast yesterday with my first episode, Pride versus Arrogance, and the difference between the two. It's good to be proud, not arrogant. And today I wanted to talk about the consequences, like what can happen when you don't feel proud of yourself. And I really think that once we understand this, literally crime would stop, I believe. Because if we understand how important it is to feel proud of ourselves at the end of each day, then throughout the day we can remind ourselves, hey, do I really want to do this? Because will I feel proud of myself at the end of the day if I do this? Then I don't think that kids would go in and shoot up the schools, like, because why would they if they felt proud of themselves and they felt like, and they understood how important it is that they feel proud of themselves, that they continue to feel proud of themselves and do things that make them feel proud. Why would they hurt others? Why would they shoot up, a school? I think it's because they don't feel proud of themselves. And the thing is, okay, so Robin Sharma asks, would the child you once were be proud of the person that you've now become? And I think that's a very important question to ask, because if we don't realize how important it is to feel proud of ourselves and do things that, behave in ways, take actions each day that make us feel proud of ourselves at the end of each day, if we don't do that, then it becomes really easy to forget how much of an impact we have on other people. It's really easy to feel insignificant and unimportant, and then we take actions that harm others because we don't think that it really matters. And an example that I wanted to share of this, it's a little embarrassing to me, but I think it's a valid point to make, so I'm going to share it. My wife called me one time and she was like, oh my goodness, that whoever it is, this kid in the neighborhood, got into our car again. This is the third time he went into our car and rummaged through our stuff and, tried to take stuff. And, there was change and some cash in there and he took it. But, so, and I got mad. My knee-jerk reaction was just to get upset. So, I'm feeling upset, I'm feeling this like fire building inside my chest, and then I stopped and I realized, and the thing is, I never even thought of this until that moment, but I was like, oh my God, honey, I know exactly why this is happening. And she was like, why? And I was like, the universe is trying to teach me a lesson, it's showing me how I made others feel. And she was like, what do you mean? And I explained that when I was a teenager, I ran away from home because I just felt so terrible about myself. I never felt proud of myself, and I was always criticized by others. And the thing is, I was always looking for approval from others, and they never gave it to me. All I got was back, instead of approval, the harder I tried to get their approval, the more criticism I got back. So I felt I didn't feel good about myself, but I didn't want to show that because that's embarrassing. So I would act like I'm proud of myself. And that was arrogance. That was conceit. That's not pride. That's conceit. That's arrogance. It's a fake pride because I didn't have anything inside to feel proud of. So I would act proudful, puff up my chest, things like that, act tough. And so when I was a teenager, I ran away from home, hanging with the wrong crowd. And we would go through cars in parking lots and look for the cars where the doors were left unlocked, and we would take all the change, whatever we could find, and then we would go to the gas station and buy, hot dogs and whatever we could to eat with the change that we found. And I never thought anything of it. I was like, who cares, because I never felt important enough to realize that my actions can actually impact others in a negative way. And I was like, oh my goodness, it just hit me. And all of a sudden, I was not mad at this kid who was going through our car. In fact, I was grateful for him for showing me how I made others feel. And feeling it myself, feeling that feeling of I felt violated. I felt, like wronged, I was angry. And so I just I feel like it's easy for us to do things to hurt others when we don't realize that we actually do matter, all of us. And once we actually realize that, wait a minute, I'm important. I'm actually important. The things that I do actually do impact others. Then we can start to realize that we can have a positive impact on ourselves and others. So then, rather than do things that, just do things without even thinking because we don't care, we can consciously, be more self-aware. And throughout the day, whenever we feel ourselves getting angry at something or reacting in a negative way, we can always catch ourselves and say, wait a minute, do I want to continue down this path and, continue acting like this or behaving this way or feeling this way? Am I going to feel proud of myself at the end of the day, if I do continue to do this? And then every single day we can get better and better. And I believe that once we do that, literally crime would just disappear, because we wouldn't try to fight it on the outside, externally, trying to control other people's behaviors and things like that. We would be not fighting crime, but literally just helping it just disappear, pretty much clearing crime away by clearing away the negativity in ourselves, and feeling better about ourselves, and each day feeling a little bit more proud of ourselves. And I think that's why it's so important every single day to ask that question: do I feel proud of myself today? And what can I do tomorrow if I don't feel proud of myself today? What can I do tomorrow to help change that? And or the opposite is, it doesn't matter if I feel, it's actually not a good thing to feel proud of myself. Pride goes before the fall, like I don't want to be prideful, and then feel like you don't really matter. And then you start doing things. It starts to become very easy to do things that harm others. And the thing is, we don't really even care, because we feel like, well, I don't matter anyways. If I don't matter, they don't matter. But if we flip that around and say, I matter, I'm important, and I want to feel proud of myself, then we can say, well, if that's true for me, that must be true for everyone else too. Other people are important, other people matter, and other people want to feel proud of themselves as well. And so then we can help them to feel proud of themselves. And so I hope this is helpful. I hope this, anyone who's listening to this, I hope this is worth your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for letting me get some of my thoughts out, and I hope you have a great day. Namaste. I honor the light in you that's also in me. All right. Thank you once again for listening to the Tao of June, Living an Inspired Life. Now, have you ever wanted to start your own podcast, like the Tao of Steve or the Tao of Susan? Because I'm just asking, because when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I even record an episode? How do I get my show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other places people like to listen? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now Anchor can match you with great sponsors too, and you can get paid to podcast. And what I really love about Anchor is that I get to record whenever I want, just from my phone. I actually record through Bluetooth over my car stereo during traffic. And how easy is that? I'm going to be in traffic anyways. It's almost like having someone in the car with me and just talking to them about my ideas. And the best part about it is, as soon as I publish, it automatically gets distributed on Overcast, Radio Republic, just Pocket Cast, all these, even Google Music, I believe. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. And I can't wait to hear your podcast.